Hi, Robin of Oxy-Dry, and this carpet is about 30 years old or so, maybe a bit more, and I've been cleaning it now for 10 years. The lady that was living here and her husband passed away about a year and a half ago, and then she died in December actually. And I lose, unfortunately, many customers this way because they've been around for so long that I've got a lot of elderly customers that I've been cleaning for quite a few years. And well, after now 30 years of operating, I've lost quite a few customers who have passed on. But that's the circle of life, right? So anyway, but I thought this would be a really interesting opportunity to talk about this particular carpet. Now, it is about 30 or so years old. It is an olefin, and I started cleaning it about 10 years ago, and when I came to clean the carpet the first time, it was very blotchy and uneven, and stains were coming back. She was having a real problem with the carpet, and because she'd been getting it steam cleaned, and then I think we were referred to by a neighbor to come and clean it for her. So I cleaned it about 10 years ago, and from that point on it was always Oxy-Dry with the SETT method, because she realized that this was the only way to go, and she was very adamant that it had to be Oxy-Dry all the time. And even when she the gentleman who's let me in the door, he said, Ursula, before she died, she said, make sure when you get the carpet cleaned, you call Robin at Oxy-Dry. Which is really neat. I've got lots of customers that they're so loyal, and we appreciate that very much. Anyway, but I wanted to point something out. One of the things that comments that comes up on various forums and whatever, they'll talk about how the method of cleaning that I'm doing here, which is the SETT method, is going to drive dirt into the backing, and then every few cleanings you need to come in and steam clean the carpet because you've got to pull out the soil, otherwise the carpet will build up with soil and it'll cause all kinds of problems and everything. This is another carpet, and I've shown this before quite a few times. This is another carpet that I have been cleaning now for 10 years, and there is absolutely no buildup of soil happening on this carpet. There is compression happening in all the traffic lanes. By the way, the last few years, she was in a walker, he was in a wheelchair, and so and obviously being as old as it was, and she was quite a big lady too. So there's the carpet yarn, which is a loop, of course, is crushed down quite a bit, and there's the abrasion wear, which causes a dulling on the surface of the fiber, which dulls the fiber so that it can be perfectly clean, and yet it has a dullness to it. And loss of color to a certain degree as well, because here where the bed was sitting for the last 30 plus years. So yes, there's degradation in the pile and the ability of the carpet to reflect the light, but as far as soiling goes, not happening. It just doesn't happen. So I thought that this was a really good opportunity to talk about that particular myth and show that it just doesn't happen. When you're doing the SETT method correctly with proper procedure, quality cleaning products, professional grade cleaning products, you simply don't have a problem with resoiling and stains coming back, and the carpets, they just don't need to be cleaned any other way. This is a superior way to go. So anyway, I'm going to clean it. I'm going to go over all the traffic areas with a Oxy-Dry fiber pad. The reason I'm choosing the Oxy-Dry here is although the carpet really isn't actually very soiled, the Oxy-Dry fiber pad will actually give a good scrubbing effect on these traffic lanes, and I want to have that on the traffic lanes anyway, for sure. And then we'll switch over to a green stripe AstroTurf. So let's give it a clean. can see it's actually brightening up quite a bit. I have been here in the last year. I did the, yeah, I was here within the last year, I'm pretty sure. Usually she's getting it done at least once a year. But, house is on the market, so I may not ever come back here again, who knows. There's a strange stain right here. I think this was used as a pantry, so something was spilt right in there. Looks like I'll put some peroxide on there. Looks like a color, something colored. So you can see where the bed was. I've never cleaned under the bed before. Always just went around this, the bed that was here. This has got a bit of a dull layer on the carpet, so it is brightening up. It's not really very soiled. There's really no actual traffic lane per se going on here, other than a wear path. But again, it just shows how this cleaning a carpet and maintaining it with the SETT method, it works. There's no problem. It just continues to keep the carpet in its optimum condition. And this carpet, this is a heavy loop, all of them. This would be a carpet that would be very hard to use an orbital machine on. A wheels up orbital, like my Orbitech. I have a wheels up Orbitech, and a Challenger or even an Oric would have a difficult time on this particular type of carpet because the loops are quite large, and so an orbital machine without being the wheels up orbital machines would fight you on a carpet like this, and it's very exhausting. I remember years ago when I was using my Orbitech orbital machine. I can't remember what they called that particular one, but I still have it. It's a wheels up machine. Has the same orbit as like a Challenger or a Vibe or whatever. But I remember cleaning a carpet similar to this one with a heavy loop, and it was like it was like a jackhammer. I stopped within a few minutes, and fortunately I was carrying my rotary with me in the van, and I just went and grabbed the rotary, and it was like, oh. Like it was after that I thought, okay, I just can't use this machine anymore. I mean, it was fine for most carpets, but you went into the heavy loop type carpets, and it was just ridiculous. The rotary is, I know a lot of people don't like it when I say this, but it's just superior. It's a superior machine. So smooth, so simple, so easy, so effortless, and so effective. When you understand how to use it with the right pads, combination of pads, so many different attachments, it's just a better choice. You can see this carpet is actually really evening out. Really brightening up nicely. This was actually, I would say, right over here was the most soiled looking area on the whole carpet. I think was right over here. I think she, in the last few months of her life, she must have spent a lot of time in the bedroom, I would guess. She had mobility issues. She was using a walker, and she was big, pretty big lady. A really nice lady though. She was actually, funny story, this floor here and in the kitchen I think I mentioned to her one time that we were thinking of doing linoleum and vinyl floor cleaning and whatever, and so she said, well, she said, can you do my floor? And I said, well, I'm really not wanting to do it because I was hesitant at first. This was a few years ago now, 5 years ago maybe. And anyway, she kept on pestering me, and finally I said, okay. So this was actually the very first linoleum floor that I cleaned, I think, actually. Kind of forgot about that. Yeah, I can't remember what I cleaned it with, but I learned some things doing that, and I found out that I think this was the first one I did, and it cleaned all right, but I learned how to be better at it really quickly. But anyway, that was the first one I did. We're getting back with some cold weather right now. I think it was down to -7 or 8 last night. It's cold again. Okay. Again, we're just focused on the traffic areas. There was a bunch of furniture over here before, so it's never been walked on. Well, no, of course not. There's a desk or a little table and chair along the side here. You can see, if you're able to, I assume you're seeing anyway in the video, that there's no soiling on this carpet hardly. There's no traffic lanes. The supposed buildup of soil that people say happen if you use this method on a carpet on a repeated basis, it just doesn't happen. I won't have to groom this carpet when I'm done, because it's so stiff it doesn't show any swirl marks or anything, so I won't need to post vacuum this or groom it. Okay, so we'll go over here and we'll do a switch, but I'll do this next step as a separate video. So thank you for watching and have a good day.